Let's go. All right, we are live now. Thank you everybody for joining us. We are so excited to have Marque Richardson here with us tonight. I'm Leah Paulson here with my co-host.
My name is Justin Brown.
Yeah, so many of you know who Marque is, but he's an actor and producer, very well known for being Reggie on Netflix's Dear White People. He's also known for roles on True Blood, The Newsroom, and so much more. So Marque, what have you been up to during this quarantine?
Well, hello everybody. How's it going? Good to see you all. I've been growing out my hair, as you can all see. I curled it, and there's that. Doing a lot of Zoom calls, which have been cool. Eating all the groceries prematurely. Learning how to make Popeye's chicken from home. Learning how to make, I don't know if anybody out there has been in California, the foreign land, but In-N-Out burger is a thing out here, and it's fucking delicious. And so we've learned how to make that at the house. And the dog, we have a dog, and so he's been running around acting like the warden of the house. So I've been, doing my best to follow instructions.
I feel like dogs are the true winners of the quarantine because now they have their owners at home with them all the time. My parents have a dog and she's like sleeping so much better. She gets to walk like all day. She's living it up.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think he is enjoying it. He's very attached. Like if I go outside to take out the trash, by the time I come back to the house, he's cussing me out. Usually he's only like that after we're gone for, some hours and whatnot, but it's getting ridiculous. My mom was like, you guys should probably leave the house, take more time to leave the house and then come back so he can get adjusted before everything opens up again. I was like, Mom, shit is not opening up again for like 10 years. So we'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Oh my gosh, yes. I would love to talk a little bit about Dear White People and your role as Reggie.
Okay, well, let me get serious. Serious.
Oh my gosh. I really thought that was your real hair.
Oh, you thought?
I really did. I was like, I haven't seen an interview with him for a while, so maybe he did grow it out.
I just want to let you know that I knew that was not your hair.
Thank you, Justin.
He was flipping and playing with it like it was his.
Yeah. It's my pimp wig when I used to in a previous life, previous occupation.
Oh my goodness. So tell us about what it was like to play Reggie, like such an iconic character, obviously the show is still going on. Hopefully season 4 is still in the works / coming out sometime in the near future.
Yes. As far as I know, season 4 is definitely still in the works. We actually were slated to start shooting right before this break. So we should have been shooting right now. So whenever we get back, we'll go back into production. And we got a bunch of stuff coming. It's the last season. And we're about to go out with a bang. So
last season.
Oh no, I didn't know it was the last.
I didn't know it was either, man.
Yeah. Fourth and final season. So 4 years.
All good things though wrap up very quickly. When things last a really long time, you're kind of like, I'm just a fan because I'm hanging in there because I love these people. But as much as I hate it, I think 4 seasons is great.
I do too. Especially, thank you for that too. Because for those who don't know, the show started off as a film, and we shot that in 2013 in Minneapolis, and then it got did Sundance and got turned into a show for Netflix. So I've been living with this character since 2013. I don't do math well. I think it's about 7 years. So to have him in my brain for that long has been draining, but also very, what's the word I want to use? I'm very grateful and humbled and honored to just be able to play a character that not only do I get to explore his life, but also explore my life as a young Black man in America, even though I am far removed from my college days, far removed. It's such a, it's made an impact on my life in ways that I can't even, describe forever. Like everything that I do moving forward is based off of this moment for me, if that makes sense. Like art for me now is not just art for the sake of entertainment, it's also activism. And not that everything has to be preachy, but if I'm doing my job, I should be saying something. So.
Absolutely. So, I did my research. You went to USC, right? Which, yes. So which is a PWI, is that right?
Yeah.
So did you feel that some of the experiences you had as Reggie in Dear White People related to any experiences you had in your, at USC in college?
Yes. What's so funny about that is because me and Brandon Bell, who plays Troy, we went to USC and we lived on an all-Black floor called Somerville Place. And so it had 32 Black students, 16 guys, 16 girls. And it was just in this building. It was like you had to apply to get in. So kind of like Armstrong Parker in the show, Winchester University, Westchester. But no, because we shot the movie in 2013 and it didn't dawn on me that like this was kind of my experience until I was sitting down with Justin Simeon, who created the show and the film, and we were doing an interview with Democracy Now! And it was like a light bulb, because I'm a little slow sometimes. A light bulb went off in my head. It was like, oh shit, I lived this. And I told Justin, and he was like, yeah, you did. So a lot of similar experiences to that, and I mean, just in general, just regardless if it was if I went to a PWI or just being a person of color, a Black person in a lot of white spaces, that don't necessarily reflect who I am. You deal with this stuff on a daily. I mean, even, aside from Dear White People, if I'm working on other projects, if I'm working on a different show or a film, or if I'm going to Whole Foods, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's funny because our experience is very similar, because I went to a PWI and I lived on a specialty floor my first year too. And it was called the Frederick Douglass Leadership Floor. All right. We're going to find these leaders. Actually, we want all the students of colors. Just come on. All right. But yeah, I mean, it was diverse because it had to be, I don't know how diverse you could be at, 6%, but I get that. I get that.
Right. But for me, I'm grateful for the experience again, because for myself, it was just a place to come home and share, the microaggressions that you experienced that day. And there were a lot.
Right, absolutely. The thing I love so much about the show, and we're going to jump into some.
Excuse me, Corona free.
Listen, you would be surprised at the amount of these Zoom meetings we're having, and there's like 10 people in a box. They're not social distancing at all. They're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I saw one yesterday. Someone was having a birthday party, and like it was supposed to be a Zoom birthday party, but then you look in and you got people coming in the back that you thought were going to be on the Zoom, but no, they're at the person's house, throwing them back.
Yep, and I'm gonna be just sitting right here. But the thing that I appreciated the most about Dear White People, like the most in its most intricate form, is that it showed so many different shades of Black. And let me further explain that. So I think that sometimes when we think about people of color, this is the box we put them in. Everyone acts the same. Everybody is the same. Everybody looks the same. Everybody has the same interest. Everybody is all for the cause, and everybody's this. And I feel like it really diversified even what people of color thought about themselves. Because I think that if you start to watch things that reflect you, and this is all you're seeing, you start to believe that this is the only thing that our culture can emulate, and these are the things that our culture is made of. And I think the show does such a good job at being like, no, everybody is like, you ever see Shrek? Everybody is we're all made of layers, and we're pulling back everybody's layers of who they are in their most intricate forms. It's truly a masterpiece of intersectionality at its most peak time, and that's what I appreciate most about the show.
Wow. I mean, I appreciate those words, and kudos to one. I agree with you, and kudos to the writers and to Justin, because even the writers' room is very diverse in regards to race, gender, sexuality, backgrounds, everything. There's no one person alike in that writers' room, and then that's so reflective in the I think anyway, in the stories that they create. And then we also, as you know, people that have been living with these characters for however long we've been living with, the majority of the stuff just feels like authentic to us. And you know, because if something's on the page, you know, as Reggie, then I'm like, oh, I don't know if that makes sense. It's very rare, but even so, they allow us to like. Not allow us to speak our mind, but make a contribution. If something doesn't feel right, then, you know, to adjust to try and make the stories as authentic as possible.
That's awesome. Thank you. So we're going to start hopping into some of our questions from our students. So Tasia had the first one. Go ahead, Tasia.
Hey, Tasia girl.
What's up?
Yeah.
So I had a question about like you transitioning from the film to the show. Did you have any type of like kind of say in transitioning or reproducing a lot of the characters that were played by different actors like Logan and Antoinette at all? And then like you expanded on your own story a little bit. So can you tell me about that?
Yeah, the process from the film to the show was an interesting process in the sense that, one, we didn't know when we were gonna come back for the show. We didn't know who was gonna be available. There were people that played characters in the film that just weren't available to play them in the show. So, you know, auditions were held. I think one of the studios wanted me to audition for Reggie. I said, the film is my audition. So, you know, there's that. Because another part of that, there were people that auditioned from the film that did not make it. They did not, they weren't hired again. And then even that process for me, like, season 1, I was told that the character was only going to be in 4 episodes of the series. And so I took that and was like, okay, all right. So it wasn't like I went into it knowing that the character Reggie was going to have, you know, his own episode. I didn't even know that each character was going to have their own episodes or an episode from their, you know, point of view. And so that was a surprise to me. As far as my contribution, literally my contribution from as a say was like, okay, whatever we do, I want to bring the jacket, the leather jacket from the film. Somehow, some way, can we please incorporate this into the show? Because in our costume designer, Ceci, who worked on A Different World and millions of other projects, but she is so brilliant in, like, as an actor, when you're trying to portray a life or whatever, the clothes matter just as much as every set, every word, everything to make it feel real. So that jacket for me is like, it represents a lot of different things for Reggie anyway, in terms of like an armor, in terms of, you know, all these different things. But no, I didn't have too much of a say in anything, I guess, aside from like things that come out of my mouth. Like, you can't make me say something or do something. But that also stems from having a creator who is as brilliant and honest and open to collaboration as Justin. Like, he just you know. It's easy. I mean, it's not easy. What am I saying? The work is not easy, but his openness makes it just a rich experience. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and so I know I talk a lot, sorry.
Awesome. We'll go to Leia next. So Leia, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Leia.
Hey, I'm a little starstruck. I love it.
Come
Leia,
on
is that
now.
your dog? Whose dog is that?
That's mine.
Oh, okay.
Williams in the back is barking like a madman. That's the warden I told you about. Sorry.
So my question is, I felt like the first season gave so much great discussions from it. Like I remember sitting with my friends and discussing for hours each episode because we related it so much to it. So I know you said you didn't get to start on the 4th season, but do you think with the last season it's going to bring up such great discussions and really like close off the whole series?
I hope so. My hope, I mean, they've told us some of the things that are, you know, planned to go down, and all that is subject to change, I guess, you know, to literally the day of. But the things that I heard have, you know, blown my mind. Because I've always, you know, I always wanted to know, you know, with this particular project, I wanted to know when it was going to be our last season, like going into it. I never wanted to find out after, you know, we finished the season to be like, oh, that was it, because I wanted the opportunity for all of us to just be able to blow the whole lid off of the show. And, you know, hopefully you like it. If you don't, that's okay. But I think that this season is going to be very ambitious, extremely ambitious. I've already been working hard. So yeah, I think we're going to blow the top off.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
I like the topics that y'all talk about that are very taboo, especially for people of color, that things that we don't like to talk about. Like when I think about your character in particular, I'm talking about mental illness, because I know that a lot of us live in houses where people are like, oh, you could just pray it away, or why are you tripping? Or I had a friend that said to me that, you know, I could just say, well, sometimes it be like that and it's free, rather than spending, you know, $120 an hour to talk to somebody who doesn't get your issues.
Right.
But I think when your character went through that situation where he was unarmed with the police and that effect that it had on him, it was just like a grip. And those things don't change, because what we're looking at right now in our current climate, you could be jogging down the street and that happened to you. And you could be doing, and that could be in an area in which you lived and have jogged down that street multiple times. The police officers in the show knew that was you. They knew who you were as a person, but it didn't matter. So like talk to us about how those ideas come out on the screen, because I think that when people watch them, they resonate so deeply.
Yeah. I think those ideas resonate so deeply with audience members because it's true. It's just reflective. It's art reflecting life, and vice versa, unfortunately. I mean, personally for me, that episode, when I read it, I mean, I cried a bunch of times because I think at that moment I knew that, again, it wasn't just entertainment for me. It was activism. It was saying something. It was, you know, and also not trying to like spoon it to the audience to feel, to tell you how to feel, because all the characters on that show are flawed and no one is perfect, and you know the dimensions and layers are so vast that, you know, that's why you can have these discussions, as Leia mentioned, because there's no right answer, and it's very topical. So yeah, again, I just keep kudos again to Justin and to Netflix and to Lionsgate, because one, it also gets tricky. Luckily with Netflix, you know, it provides a platform to, you know, it's on the internet or whatever. So it's less censory, I guess, if that makes sense. But also there's some shit that they do censor. So all that to say, just kudos to the whole production team for allowing the authenticity of a story, of one particular story, to be told. Because I got a lot of messages and a lot of feedback from people all over that, and they necessarily weren't Black men, but that particular scene in the episode 5 of season 1 resonated with them, because it's just, it's honest.
Yeah, that was a great answer. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
We'll hop to Iana next. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Iana.
Oh, you said my name right. Okay. So there are a lot of topics discussed in Dear White People, like a lot of important ones. But what are some topics that you wish would have been discussed in the show but wasn't?
What are some topics that I wished were discussed? English is not my first language. Were discussed in the show that weren't. Let's see. Man, that's a lot. If we had more time, because also, you're restricted to, 10 episodes or 8 episodes a season, 20, 30 minutes per episode. You can't talk about everything. I would love to, I'd love to see more explorations of different groups. I think the tip of last season, they kind of started the discussion of character Al, and his Latinx background and whatnot. I'm very interested in that. I hope season 4 we explore more of that. We had a character played by Allie. I forgot her last name, and shit.
You could just tell us at this point. We wouldn't know.
Yeah. I'll just make up. I'll just make it up. But she was part of the Asian community on campus, and so I'm definitely interested in seeing more of those stories as well, because it's not like it's a Black show. We do have a lot of Black characters or whatever, and many different people of color. But I'm interested in seeing more of those stories as well, and how we're all so similar and we deal with the same stuff just as being a person of color in general. But the it's endless, as you mentioned, Justin, just even that we have these Black characters, but you have all these layers. Like, it's just an infinite pool of stories and opportunities and truths and whatnot, that maybe one of y'all will have to create for me to see. But I hope that answers your question.
It does. Good job.
Kinda. Okay.
All right. We'll get to Nia next. Go ahead, Nia.
Where are you?
She there? She's here somewhere.
You're on mute, Nia. You're on mute.
My fault. I actually have a lot of questions. I'm gonna only ask one. Okay. So, in terms of your movie that you're in, Antebellum, When by Jordan Peele, I guess, like, are you excited about it? And, like, how does it differ between, like, Get Out and, like, Us? Like, how is this going to be, like, I guess, a different movie for Jordan Peele? Because I heard it's, like, really different. I heard it's, like, really horrifying, but, like, I don't know, like, what are your thoughts on the movie that's coming out?
What are my thoughts on that movie? Well, Jordan actually doesn't have anything to do with it. I know they keep marketing, and it's tricking people. So I appreciate the triccation, because they think they're making people think, oh, Jordan did it, so you gotta go see it. But no, some producers from his camp that produced Get Out and Us and whatnot, they produced Antebellum as well. So Antebellum is something that I've never seen before. As with get out. And as with us, but you know, with us, I didn't understand anything because, like I said, I'm a little slow. But Antebellum is definitely different. I'm excited about it. I'm excited for people to see it. I'm excited for people to see what Janelle does, what she did, and I think because that was supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out in April. Now it's coming out allegedly August. I think August 20th or something like that. Don't hold me to the dates. I don't know, but I know it's supposed to come out in August. But y'all gonna have to ask Corona what she wants to do with that. But yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like a mesh of a historical piece and a futuristic piece and a thriller aspect. I wouldn't call it a horror film. I mean, there's horrific things that happen in it, but there's a huge twist. There is a huge twist. So even with that film, I'm excited to see what people have to say and if it brings up some discussions of things. I keep doing these projects, these race projects. That wasn't by design. That's just how things are kind of going. So I'll take it. But yeah, does that answer your?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Nia. All right, Monet, go ahead and ask your question.
Monet in the house.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, so my question is, like, have you learned anything about yourself, like being in the industry and doing these movies and stuff?
Yes, I've learned a bunch of things about myself being in this crazy ass business. I started when I was 4. I started acting when I was 4. And so, you know, TV and film was just like a hobby for me. When I was a child, I was just doing a bunch of commercials and stuff like that, and, you know, making some money here and there. And then didn't start, I think my first TV show was my junior year in college because I thought I was gonna be, I was majoring in public policy, planning, management, and business. And I thought I was gonna, you know, be like a consultant or something and work for Deloitte or something. So then my brain freezes sometimes. So then, you know, come graduation was opportunity to either do this internship for free with this talent management company and kind of learn behind the camera and the business of this thing. And then the other opportunity was to go learn Arabic in Egypt for this project that probably would have led to some government, you know, CIA situation. And I decided to take the internship and be broke. I've been broke all my life. It didn't matter, you know, a couple more years, whatever. So I did that. And then that internship led to an internship at Will Smith's production company. All the while I was still acting, but that was like grad school for me to, you know, again, learn the business, one of my idols, and try and, you know, not try and study a roadmap if a little bit, if that makes sense. So all that to say, have I learned anything about myself in this business? Yes, I have. That nothing really matters. It matters, but nothing really matters. You know, when I get stressed about certain things in the business, you know, I'm not curing cancer. I'm just making art. One of the most recent things that I learned within, or that I was like an aha moment for me was I've met many of my heroes and I've learned that a lot of people in this business are in the business of selling smoke and mirrors. And that is okay. And I used to get frustrated about it until I realized, oh, that is their business model. It doesn't have to be my business model. And I think that was a huge aha moment for me because the circles just keep getting smaller and smaller. Hollywood is like high school. You got your rumors, you got your this, you got your that. I do my work and I go home. I do my work and I go home. So, yeah, nothing really matters, and it does. So just stay true. Stay true to you. Follow your North Star. Figure that out and stay to that as close as possible.
People want to follow you on Instagram or follow you on Facebook or on Twitter. Like, what are some of your social media handles? Can you throw some of them out?
Oh, y'all kicking me off now.
No.
Okay.
No. We still got a couple more questions for you.
We got a lot more questions. I just want to make sure that people are following you so they know what you're saying.
I'm kidding. Silky Rich is the handle for all the things, the Twitter, the Twitter, the Instagrammers, and Silky, and Rich with 3 I's and a C and an H. That's me. And Facebook, I don't be on it like that, but I think it's all the same. It's all the same.
All right, and we are not kicking you off because we got 3 more questions people got for you. So, Neb, how about you go next?
Hi.
What's up?
I had kind of 2 little questions. So it's like what was your favorite scene from the film, Dear White People, and then the show?
Okay. Favorite scene from the film, I would say, I really enjoyed working on that film. That wasn't easy, but I really enjoyed working on that film. I'm going to go with, there's a scene where Sam and Gabe are having a discussion in the room or whatever, and then Reggie, at that time, I think the character's name was, what was his name? Curls, who's played by Ashley Blaine Featherston, who plays Joelle on the show now, and then a brilliant actress, Courtney Sauls. I forgot her character's name in the film, but her name in the show is Brooke. So they're in there arguing or whatever, and then Gabe says mulatto, and then we're outside the door, and we're like, did somebody say mulatto? So that was my favorite. The house party in the film was also pretty fun, but hard to shoot. It was raining. It was just, it was guerrilla style filmmaking. So everything that could go wrong did go wrong. We got shut down. Production, UPM came and shut down the day. It was like, we're done. It was like 4:00 in the morning when we finished. So that was that. And then the show, favorite scene in the show to shoot. Oh, so hard. Favorite scene in the show to shoot. I really like, I loved last season, all the characters we played Mafia. When we're all together, because we all love each other and we've all been friends for so long. So I love the scenes where it's all of us together in Armstrong Parker or wherever, if it's a rally or whatever, because we get to, between takes talk shit and fuck around and all that kind of stuff. But the Mafia scene, I think, was my favorite because Nia Gervier is hilarious. She's hilarious to me. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right. So I have a question, and then we're gonna get to the last 2 questions. So, what is one thing, or just anything that you wish your college self knew, especially kind of working on a show that talks about life on a college campus? Is there something that you wish that you knew when you were going through? And do you have any maybe advice or thoughts for some of the people on this call that are students currently navigating?
Yes. Something that I wish my college self knew, and which I remind myself every day, is that it's okay to be yourself and just be that. You don't have to add any extra diddle daddle, whatever. You don't have to try to fit in with any group or nothing. It's okay, and actually your duty to just be yourself, because only you can do it. Nobody can do that. And you can't be anybody else. And everything that you've gone through and everything that you learned and experienced is a gift. It makes you so specific to who you are. That is your superpower, and it's your duty. to do that, to be that in the world.
I love that.
And what was the other part?
No, I think you hit it, because it was
Okay.
like something you wish yourself knew, and then like any advice that you would have, and it kind of covered both, like for people navigating college, like being their true selves. Yeah. No,
Yeah. And I will say I couldn't even imagine, especially in the climate of today, being in college, whether it be your freshman year or your senior year, you're not panning out and dealing with this pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, having your whole world shaken up, like your vision of what you thought it was going to look like, kind of, like a puzzle, like a jigsaw puzzle, and then a bomb just exploded, and now you're trying to put the pieces back together, and we have no idea what the future looks like, and that's okay. I salute y'all. I support y'all. I love y'all, and if you can, just take it day by day, hour by hour. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just keep breathing. It'll pass. What's supposed to happen, and we'll be okay.
Yeah. So.
Who's your favorite co-star? Like, who do you hang with outside of the show?
Who's my favorite co-star? I'm gonna go with Deron Horton, Houston. He is insane. He's got some screws loose up in there, and for some reason, I seem to gravitate towards crazy people, and he's very crazy. He is insane, but also a brilliant actor. I appreciate his work and look forward to see what he does in the future. He's nuts, fucking crazy, insane, psycho. Yeah.
We have our last two questions. So Meg, go ahead and ask your question, then we'll get to Tasia.
Hey, Meg.
How's it going?
It's a professional setup over there.
Listen, I'm a friend of Justin's, and I do podcasting for my company, so I just don't even bother taking it down. I'm too tired.
And the sound is great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So one of the things that I know, well, I love the show, big fan of the movie. Definitely Reggie's struggles with his mental health was kind of a big part of the storyline in the last season. Was curious if any of that reshaped kind of how you approach your own mental health and self-care.
Absolutely. Definitely. Thank you for the question. Absolutely it has. From, I think it was, from season one and onward, season one post, take a breath. Season 1, episode 5 and onward was when I really started to look at, my mental health and what that looks like for myself in regards to self-care and, what are the things that I need to do to, again, just take care of myself, because that episode, I still have, I actually have PTSD from it. If I think about it, even though it wasn't a real gun, it wasn't, we know it's pretend. But when you're, with all of these characters, when you're living a life and you're, that energy, it doesn't die. Like, it stays in you, and you have to figure out how to, I had to figure out how to take care of myself and how to release that. But I was thinking about it, I think like a week and a half ago. I was like, man, it's still there. Like, it's literally still there as a memory, for me. And the way I work is it's like very sensory. So when I'm working on a character, I try and do as much as, that character, what that person would do in their life, how they eat, how they would work out, how they walk, how they breathe, how they talk, all that stuff. So it's like, it's the energy is in my body. And so all that to say, regarding mental health, I make sure I take baths. I have a therapist. I meditate, I do all the things, and I continue to do the things that make me feel good, and try to have like a strong spiritual practice just to again take care of myself. And there's another role that I'll be starting on whenever Corona lets up, where the character is manic depressive, and he's been through rehab, drug rehab, and bipolar, and dealing with all these different things. So I already know I'm gonna have to, one, not only explore what that world looks like genuinely, so I can, try and do my job and tell the story, but also I gotta take care of myself. At the end of the day, it's just a job. I want to do my best, but I have my own life, so I have to make sure I do the things that keep me sane. I hope that answers.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. And being vocal about those things as a Black person, a Black male, because that's a taboo thing for our community, as I know it is with other POCs communities as well.
Thank you.
So,
what do you say to people that won't even give the show a view because it's called Dear White People? Like, I remember when that first came out in the first season, that was a big thing when people were like, can't believe Netflix would do this. I'm boycotting Netflix. And yet here we are. All right. And that's all people doing. So what do you think, what would you like people to know who automatically judge this beautiful piece of art based on the title?
I don't want them to know anything, to be honest. I mean, that's their right. It's their right. I think they'd be missing out on a beautiful set of stories, and that's okay. I think that's okay. And I get where they're coming from. I don't. That's not my thoughts, but I think everybody's entitled to their thoughts, and I mean, it's not hurting me, so that's okay.
Thank you. All right, so Tasia asked our first. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. So Tasia asked our first question. Now she's gonna ask our last one. So go ahead, Tasia, bring us home.
Bring it in. Bring it home.
Also, I want to say that I'm taking a break off of True Blood, but I'll get to your season. I'm on I have 2 seasons left, so I'm getting to you.
Don't blink. Don't blink. Don't even worry about it.
Okay, so I had a question about your work outside of the camera. I said, since you're an advocate as well as someone who works a lot in community service and with the youth, what's the main thing that you wish to achieve in doing this types of work?
What's the main thing I wish to achieve in which part of the work? The work I do out.
Yeah, I see that you've traveled before. I see that you work with youth, but like I saw on Instagram too, as well as you worked with I feel like a basketball team. I forget who they were.
Huh?
Outside. Sorry. But yeah, I saw that you travel and like did community service outside of the country. I saw that you go around and like help out with a lot of the youth in the country as well as do habitat for humanity.
Yes. And so the question is, what is my goal with the stuff outside of being on camera? Pretty much like my service work. What's my goal with that? Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a big ass mosquito that's trying to come up in here.
You better make sure it's not one of those killer hornets we got.
I know. I've been. Okay, I don't think so. So sorry, but it wants to. I'm gonna just show you, and then I'm gonna answer the question. So, wait, did it leave? Wait. Y'all can't see anyway. It's okay. Okay, so my answer. Yeah, I mean, what's so interesting is that growing up, like in elementary school and in high school and college, service has always been a part of my life. So whether it be, elementary school to get to 6th grade camp, we had to do community service on campus, and in high school to get to college or whatever. For me, it was always like, a thing to just check off and just get to, whatever was next for me. But what I didn't know is that all of that just instilled it instilled a commitment to, and the knowledge of that, like, helping others helps me. And not to do it from like a selfish standpoint, but that service for me gets me out of my head and, back to the notion that we are all connected, not we are the world, but we really, we really are. It's just one. We are just one. And so my intention with service is I want to help. I want to do things, things that matter. Because again, like I said, it's not like, in front of the camera, I'm not curing diseases and whatnot, but if I can continue to work and give a voice on different issues, shine a light on different things, and do my part and move on to things that I care about, then I'm doing my job. And this show, anyway, again, has nailed that in my brain for me, whether it be the episode or whether it be the Jordan Edwards Memorial Fund that we started for Jordan Edwards, who was murdered in Dallas, Texas, 15-year-old kid. We worked with his family to create this endowment fund with the University of Alabama and open it up to public and raise like $100,000 for a scholarship that lives in his name in perpetuity forever. So it's just, you just got to do your part, I feel, anyway. And do what you feel moved to do, and don't do anything other than that. Do your part.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We appreciate all the knowledge, advice, and just gems that you just dropped on everybody.
What a blessing.
And we know that you just dropped a lot of gems. But what we've been allowing our speakers to do is to have the final say. So if you have like a key to life, or what's the one thing you wanted the listeners to get out of this entire presentation, we don't give you any time to prepare it. You just kind of jump in there and do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Be yourself. Be your motherfucking self.
Okay.
That's it.
Enough said.
That's it. It's the easiest thing to do.
Enough said.
It should be.
I'm still laughing. There's somebody who just tried to come in. You should be like, you late. I'm getting
you
off.
Late. Who is it?
Hold on, they're about to pop in on the bottom.
On the bottom. Who is it?
Hold on.
This Elysium Ellis.
Hold on, they're gonna probably come up soon.
Yeah.
That's funny. Or not.
It's okay.
Stay there. Oh,
you late, but we love you.
Their video late, or he knows that they're late.
You late.
They said they'll start their video later. Anywho, this is who we have on tap for next week. And if you want to be a part of any of these, you can as well. Junior Rich, now no problem. Now that we know that this is you. Joshua Smith, he's a voice actor. He also does magic. Chris Handles, Harlem Globetrotters. Terry Lomax, she's going to be telling you how to make your brand, how to blow it up. Chris Sabat, he is a master voiceover magician. What I mean by that is he has done voiceover work for over 300 different anime cartoons. You probably know him as Vegeta from DBZ.
What?
Yeah, listen, if you want to be on that call, you can.
I'll send you the info.
Send you the link.
Please.
I got this wrong earlier, so I will not again. Jaime. All right. Jane the Virgin. Zach Allen from the WWF. He has a wonderful message. Danielle Fischel, you know her as Topanga from Boy Meets World. Al Roker, no needed. Joshua Triplett, he's currently playing in a show right now called The Neighbors with Cedric A. Entertainer on CBS. Sway, no introduction for Sway. And then Cedric Yarbrough, he's done work with BoJack Horseman, The Boondocks, and Reno 911, which has just been rebooted. So That's all we have. Oh, there she is. There she is on the bottom.
Where's she at? ALEASON?
Yeah, that's her.
You late. But we love you. We still love you, but you late.
Sorry, I had a family.
You missed it. I'm just kidding. I hope everything's okay with your family.
Alrighty, thank you everybody for coming out. We hope we see you next week because we're off tomorrow, so we'll see you all then.
Thanks, Justin and Leah.